And as I usually do, I'll just share the latest news, whatever I have, my reaction to them, what's interesting is going on, and that will be a good beginning. And maybe you will do something else, ask questions and so on. Okay, so that's today. Today is May 19, and we will look at the latest and greatest news, and maybe we'll do some practical lab, but that I wasn't sure about. Okay, so last time somebody asked a question, can we look at the architecture of a quantum computer? And back then we asked, hey GPT, give us the architecture. But that, of course, is only the beginning. He'll give you the major points. We will have to go through that. Then we have a roadmap by IBM just to see what's going. I think everybody would agree that IBM is the leader, so it's most interesting to look at them. Then I also have an outline that I'm working on. You remember that whole thing, our complete webinar, it started when I taught it at a large company, a technical company. Well, they want more, they want to continue, but we need to reposition it because some people came with the wrong expectations. So I'll show you what the wrong expectations are, what the right expectations are, and that will be complete. We will also look at what does it take to get the certification. That is, by the way, interesting enough because now it's at the end of May, and the beginning of June is when they open a season on Qiskit advocates, rather not on, that implies hunt, but for. So we'll talk about this. That's the plan. Okay, if you have any more questions, please prepare them. Meanwhile, opening the architecture for the quantum computer. So I don't know how much you know about them, but let's hit the major points. Okay, so first of all, a regular computer have bits and the quantum computers have qubits. Now, we know that bits, they are either 0, 1, and qubits, they can be anything between 0 and 1 with a certain probability. That's one way to describe it. Of course, when you measure it, it's either 0 or 1. But by then, it has changed the probabilities of can it be 0 or 1. And altogether, they came up with an answer. In other words, if you take this right now abstract, we don't know what it is, but right now you take this qubit and it can be anywhere between 0 and 1. Then the interesting thing is, to use the language of Shakespeare, love is in love's conference. They communicate those qubits and change probabilities. The result comes back as the answer. So architecture asks, well, how did we implement it? We understand you were talking about some theoretical particles, and they were the implementation for your qubits, for your quantum computer. So let's look at IBM. They use superconducting circuits and they use them at super cool temperatures. They like to brag about that is colder than in the outer space. So when we look at the quantum computer, and let's again look at quantum computer. It just doesn't want to spell for me like this. Quantum computing, but we want really the images because we want to. No, it doesn't want to show me the images, so 1 second. Quantum computer. Okay, and then show me, yes, I was looking for this. Well, there are enough images here. So let's look at any one of them. That's a quantum computer, looks like gold. But we don't, these are just the connections. What we don't see are the real quantum computers, which are hidden inside the boxes. Each one of them is represented by a what? That's our question, right? So here it says superconducting circuits. So it is superconducting material, and the current can flow both clockwise and counterclockwise because of quantum mechanics. This property enables the qubits to represent either 1 or 0 or both 1 and 0 at the same time. And so the official term for that is superposition, right? That's what is here. Maybe we should mention this is called superposition. And superposition is the physical term and the quantum computing term, but really it's either you can think of probabilities, and that would work if you're more mathematically inclined, or you can think of a physical representation of some particle. So IBM uses superconducting circuits for that. Others use ions and photons. Quantum gates. These are the rules of operation on these qubits. They are usually mathematically expressed as matrices, and so talking mathematically, you multiply by matrices, and in this way you change the probabilities. So let's say your probabilities are represented by a vector, you multiply it by a matrix, and you probably multiply matrix by a vector, and the result is another vector, new probabilities. So these are similar to classical gates, but they can perform complex operations, meaning that you represent these operations with complex numbers, and it can be a representation of probabilities in an n-dimensional space. So far, so good, right? Okay. Now, physically, what does that mean? It means that you have a way to connect every qubit to another qubit, and you can put those gates, that is connections, on top. That is when you start your quantum computation, you create a circuit, quantum computing circuit. The next thing is this quantum interconnect. That is who connects the qubits. They allow the qubits to become entangled. That's an interesting word. Let's leave it aside. And they allow them to copy the state, for example. Okay. Next, microwave pulse. What do they have to do there? They are used to perform operations on the qubits. The pulses can be put in the superposition or can entangle multiple qubits. In other words, that is similar to gates, operations on the qubits, but operations between multiple qubits. Then it is all cooled. When we saw this picture, quantum computer, that's a warmed up computer, because really it is very cool inside, cryogenic cooling, extremely cool. And how? They are kept in the dilution refrigerator. That is why I said that it's warmed up. So let's take that away. In this thing, of course, you make a picture, or the president likes to take a picture with that. That's only when it is out of its own refrigerator. Classical control electronics. After all, you need to start with a certain input data, and you need to finish with the result. So that's where the classical control electronics comes in, and it measures what the qubits are. After it measures, we know that qubits are no longer in a superposition. They're no longer able to do what they like to do. That's called collapse. And finally, an important area of thinking is error correction, because now that the bits or qubits are very small, they can be noise. That's not your electronic circuits where the noise was much less. It was showing if you make your regular electronic circuits smaller and smaller, then it is showing more and more errors. But on a quantum level, you really have to take care of errors because that's normal. So we said quantum systems are very delicate, and a lot of research goes into how to fix those errors. So that's all we can say now about the architecture of quantum computing. It may not be completely clear, but it is, yeah, well, that's another step in this direction. By the way, I heard an interesting show today. Let me go to YouTube and find the Qiskit channel. Okay, so that's where people talk, and I heard the latest, which was about how do you test it. Now, maybe next time I'll need to put this video here. In other words, now that it is a really physical device and you need to think about this, then how do you test that it's really doing what it is supposed to do? That was a very interesting presentation from France, I believe. And I'll put a reference here. That is an interesting thing. But before we go to found theory, let's jump a little bit to Qiskit certificate. So that is a link that will take you on the road of preparation. I'm saying that is a good thing that we're talking about it now, because in June, they opened the enrollment for what they call Qiskit Advocate, and there are about 2,000 to 4,000 of them. So Ignacio, do you have any interest in that? You don't know. And so Dakar? And you don't know. Maybe that's an answer. No, I'm not interested. But in any case, we will look at what the resources are. So that is somebody who gave his notes. It was a while ago, but the exam doesn't change much. My whole interest in quantum computing started from an article in IEEE, that's Electrical Engineering Society. And the people from the national lab, one of the national labs, they wrote a very interesting article. That's how it all started. Well, I asked them, guys, is there anything new? Because your article is a couple years old. They say, no, such things don't change. Once you get an algorithm, let's say Shor algorithm, it was invented 15 years ago, and now they can use it, but it doesn't change. Okay, so the certificate also doesn't change. This is his own notes, and I think this is really a good study guide. So let me open that right here. Okay, prepare to take the Qiskit certification, and that's the guide. That's how you go through the slides here. So I think that's a great thing and an introduction to the Qiskit library. You will have to show something special, but I'm sure if you make all this effort, you will look somewhat special. You'll think of exactly what to do. So I think that's a good reference here. And then he shows also the workbook. So together these two are good enough. We can remove that. We'll give the video link later. And now we can turn to roadmap. So what's going on? Because the important question is, did we reach any practical level? Well, that's called quantum advantage. When all your work pays out, when you do something that you're supposed to do, in other words, when it is not looking to the future but real. Well, no. The answer is today, exactly today, May 5th, 19th. For all that I know, it's no, there is no problem that has been solved on quantum computer better than in the classical computer. It will reflect in the IBM roadmap. It will also reflect in the outline that I'll show you. But I just saw the notes that the announcement that Google partnered with IBM on quantum computing, and they invest like 150 million. So maybe you can get some of the pie. Let's look at their roadmap. So of course, everybody is looking at the number of qubits, right? But the number of qubits is not the definitive goal. I think they started with 127 qubits. And then today it is 433. But they reached the limit, I think. They are saying that 433 today is pretty much as far as you can get with one computer. So just like our CPUs, they went into multiple CPUs. So to here, they go into multiple computers joined into one essentially and looking as one. So that's how you will increase the number of qubits. They are also preparing for a cloud deployment because you can buy your own quantum computer. We probably won't, but some people can, and some national labs for medicine, they do it. So that's what they talk about, that it will be available to the population. It will be scaling, and as I said, it will be scaling by combining multiple computers here. Okay, and well, the quantum-centric quantum computer. That's pretty much it. You have this reference, Ignacio. And the last thing that I wanted to show, if you go up to the folder where I put anything that is interesting here, it's the outline. The outline must be here, must be a Word document. But I don't see it. That's okay, I'll find it. I'll find it in this email. At the very end, that should be the latest, greatest outline. Okay, one thing to call is fundamentals. Well, it was right here. Well, let's drop it in our folder also. Here. But let us open since we're looking at it. So the next step is if I were to teach somebody quantum computing, but actually I am teaching somebody quantum computing, it's for a company. So I emphasize now that we need to reposition this. Don't think that it is teaching you practical skills. No, it is teaching you practical skills, but that's not a practical discipline yet. It's still going forward. And so please understand that you need to know it now. I'm increasing the hype, right? but you will only use it in the future. Well, the good thing is that you'll be the first one to use it in the future, one of the first ones. So no, we don't just blah blah. We teach you specific skills about how you will be doing it in the very near future. So maybe I'll need to find this science fiction story about repairing time machines. Let's put it here. Because every time I mention it, it's a perfect analogy. But I don't remember who that was. So again, in that story, they get very drunk. One guy together with the serviceman repairing time machines. The problem is time machines are not invented yet. In this time, he traveled backwards. Okay, and the guy wakes up and he understands that he was infused with this wonderful knowledge, but he can't use it. Okay, that is how I position it now. Then I will teach more of the fundamentals. I'll talk more about quantum physics. What exactly is that discipline that allows you to do these miraculous computations? So is that more important than AI? I think maybe yes, but definitely not in the people's minds. So we are just preparing for the future, and they are in the future. And finally, we will look at real examples, but we won't look at too many of them. Previously, I was showing quite a few different algorithms. I think two are good enough. Grover algorithm and Shor algorithm. Grover is for, I believe, search, and Shor is for dividing into prime numbers. Both are very important because prime numbers are the foundation of security. So once this computer can do this, it breaks all security in the world. Well, it's important enough, but not today. Good. So that's what I wanted to show you. And we don't have too many people. Honestly, we have just one person, Ignacio. So Ignacio, if you have any questions, time to ask them. Because if not, we've covered more or less what we have done. I still think we'll continue, you know what? Even though we don't have such a large turnout, we might. In any case, questions? Okay, no more questions. So I wish you a good day and a good weekend and everything of the. Oh, wait a second. Here are the people. I just didn't see them. Okay. I'm allowing everybody to talk, and I was acting on the honest assumption that nobody's listening. That's different. Now everybody can talk. So before I ask my question about questions again, I'll show you briefly what we looked at, because you joined just a little bit later, but still. Yes, you wanted to say something? No. Okay. So what I looked at was, and these links are all helpful. You can click. That describes the architecture of quantum computer. In other words, here we are talking about quantum computers. But what are those things really? That's talking about what elements go into them. Now, there are a few ways you can talk about quantum computer. One is show the wonderful picture. So if you search for quantum computer, you again find this golden colored okay, I'm not looking for the picture right now, that's okay. But they are, it's one way to talk about. Another way to talk about is physics. What physics happens there? How those particles can take either 0 or 1 or anywhere in between. And yet another probabilities, mathematics, formulas, And the fourth one is, well, computing. That's your Qiskit library. That is very real. It talks to the quantum computer. So there are 4 ways. This way is more on the physical level. So, you know what, it will be a good thing if we put physical view, then physical, like hardware view. Hardware view is one approach. Another one is physics. Another one is pure math. Math and probabilities. And yet another one is code in Qiskit. Okay, so by the way, I showed you what my current outline for the course, which I will probably continue teaching. I think they want more of such courses. They are also convinced that quantum computing is coming and it's better to be ready. So over there, I show multiple libraries, or will show multiple libraries. It won't be just Qiskit, IBM, but Google Computing Language for quantum computing, maybe some others. Then I promised all these things to give you as links. Then we'll look quickly at IBM roadmap. But we are, you know, that's a corporate announcement, but we humans, we are here just investigate the quantum computing and the labs and the libraries. So we get a 360 view. And then we also looked at the what would it take for a certification. And that's, I think, a pretty good reference to give you, to put you on the way of getting the certification, which would be the first next step, just personally, and also because you might want to become the Qiskit advocate. All right, that's where we stopped because I thought only one person is listening to me. And Mike not working well for Jose. So there you are. We're discussing quantum computing, and meanwhile, simple Mike's not working. All right, but now I will ask again. If there are any questions, then please ask. By the way, yes, indeed, that is a quantum computing cup.
Good one. Are you sending to everyone?
Well, it took a lot of hard work to get one, but I'll send it to those individuals who will ask. So all it takes to ask.
Yes, so I have one question here. I mean, I have a physics and computer science background both. I'm master's physics and master's computer, but way back, like 25 years back, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and this subject used to kind of, I mean, I was a lot into it. But so I have a question, like, what do these certification exam like consist of? What do they have actually?
Good question. You need to know some theoretical background, like what is a quantum bit or qubit, and what physical events are responsible, because they will ask this question. It's not practical, it's not needed,
Right.
But the majority of the questions are about Qiskit library, very specific library, and the easiest way is to go to IBM manual. Qiskit manual, that's what it will be. And if you go through all of the labs, or even some of the labs, that will give you all that you need to know. Now in here, they updated, I see that. They give you an introduction, and in this introduction, they give you the code. That code, I believe you can run here, maybe not, you worry about, but you can copy this code and run it. That's all that you need to know.
Okay.
Is that your question?
Yeah, I mean, that's partially the question. Yeah, but it answers. So, like, what is the process of registering for this exam and taking, like, I mean,
Now, exam, it seems that you can register anytime and you can take it anytime. And I don't think it's free. I think it is like about $100 to $150. But that is just this exam. So what will be the benefit to you? Well, you'll put this amazing, great thing on your resume. If you look for jobs, there are some jobs, but not as much as if you look into other areas. If that's your question.
that is part, yeah, that is kind of part of the question. So,
Yeah,
right,
well, look, I think it will look nice on
so right
LinkedIn.
now I am into business intelligence area, like I work as advisory data analyst. So I was just looking, how this will help me more to grow rather than.
No, I would say maybe it's a turn off, but I would say it won't directly. It's like marketing. Look how smart this guy is. He even knows quantum computing,
Yeah,
which he doesn't have to. So that's an additional plus. Why would a person? Well, probably the person just wants to make his brain stronger, and that's a good thing. And then our marketing director, he has a quirk. He knows quantum computing.
yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But you'll get more fun out of that. You can join the Slack. Joining is free. It's easy, and then you'll be on the Slack with the similar-minded people, all 4,000 of them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I am much more like a theoretical bend kind of person, right? So I really love it. I mean, I used to love this subject when I studied it, and then once I moved out, I moved out. Yeah.
Well, I started this personally because I just didn't believe it. And then I see people, like I live next to one friend who is a Amazon developer. And on Amazon, he makes some kind of player, player in the browser, okay? But he said, I think it's all bogus, it doesn't exist. Well, that was also my view. What convinced me was the price. The price is $1.60 per second. That couldn't be bogus. That was my conversion. But since then, I really fell in love with physics. And I'm thinking that if I wasn't growing up as a mathematician, and if I saw at that time physics that didn't even, quantum physics didn't quite exist, it was just beginning. But now I prefer physics to math. That's an amazing betrayal of math on my part. That's how much it influenced me.
Yeah, good to know.
Okay. Well, I wish you good luck then. You might use it. So all of these links are here. Let me look into the chat. Math is believe a good point of partial differential calculus. Yes, it is. It is math. And that's what I thought. I thought math is real. Everything else is physical approximation of the math. Who cares? But that was all because physics at this time was very much influenced by Newton and essentially was materialistic. But quantum physics is essentially mystical. I think you will agree with that. And if you don't, just Google, right? But you said
No, I
you
know.
do.
Yeah, I mean, started with the great experiment of Schrodinger wave equation and,
Yes, right.
wave matter particle duality. So, yeah.
Yes, but Schrodinger, he only emphasized that there's fact number one, that we don't really know what those particles are doing. That was fact number one. But the fact number two, Bell, that only came in 68 and became quite well known in the 90s. And finally, the Nobel Prize came last year. So that's how current those things are.
Yep. I agree here.
Yeah. So it's obviously that you are deep into this. Okay. Let's say Qiskit resembles Python. Python, absolutely true. It does use Python, but then it's an amazing invention by a Dutch programmer, Python, the most popular language in the world now. And it's like everybody uses English, so everybody uses Python. But what for? So here we use it for quantum computing. Over there, we use it for ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is also very practical, interesting, and exciting. And I'm doing this webinar next hour. Okay. What type of math? Beautiful. Math is for your pure enjoyment, I would say, because math includes vectors, then includes matrices, then it is multiplication between vectors and matrices. And that is basically it. You don't need much more. By the way, machine learning is also all about matrix multiplication. So I think it's a good thing to know whatever you're doing, quantum computing or AI. Okay, so thank you for asking the questions. And I will definitely meet with you next week, because I was only hesitating because I thought I had one listener, but something good about me, I was going to continue. Now we will definitely continue. Ask questions, maybe send question later if you want a cup. And just because you're so dedicated, I'll send you the cup. Okay. So
do you have like recommendation for some books as well on this?
Oh yes, I have a recommendation for books.
Yeah, I love to read books, so no. Awesome. Yeah.
They are all here. I have also put them on my blog, and I'll give you the link.
Okay.
These are very special. I mean, I didn't invent them. I got them from an expert on this. What's her name? But it's the IBM expert. In any case, let me show you where you can find my books, and probably I won't be presumptuous, and I will mention who really is the source of this wonderful knowledge. So, blogger. That's the blog. And that's my favorite books on quantum computing. And that's the link.
Okay.
But I probably, Olivia Lanes is the real source. So you can go here, or from there you can go over there to her and putting it here. Maybe I'll put it at the very top, because that's very often a good thing to have. Recommended books. Let's see here. And if you search on Amazon, that's not what you find. So that's a really good list that is invaluable in the sense of very real stuff.
Okay.
It will be here. All right. Thank you very much. Wishing you a very good weekend, and all the best.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Bhartrihari, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Be well.